You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, B&B fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt. And something that happened with Finn on the most recent episode, plus the big return on Thursday, December 28th, has me thinking Thomas is about to be the victim of a plot to ruin his life and ruin his romance with Hope on the CBS soap opera. Please click subscribe if you haven't already. And now let's dig into what I am pretty sure is coming soon that's going to be quite drastic. So, on the Wednesday, December 27th episode, we saw Steffy Forrester, to me, for all intents and purposes, harassing Hope Logan. She was relentless. She was butting into Hope and Thomas's private life, asking Hope for her feelings about her brother, not relenting, just badger. And then Hope got tired of it, and she finally spoke her truth. And her truth is, Hope has no interest in discussing how she feels about Thomas with Steffy. She told her it's none of her business. And that's fair. I mean, both Thomas and Hope know better than anyone about his past obsession with her. I mean, Hope was the one he gaslit into a wedding, and she knew he was messing with Douglas's head too. And remember, Hope was the one who found Thomas after he collapsed during that mannequin obsession phase where he had something medically and seriously wrong with his brain. She's the one who called 911. She made sure he got the medical help that he needed, and that included brain surgery, even though, as far as I know, Finn's not a brain surgeon, but you know. So yeah, Hope knows better than anyone what Thomas is capable of, because she's been on the receiving end of it, you know, more than a lot of people. And yet she's chosen to be with him. Hope has chosen to trust him. She has decided to sleep with him and share her life with him. She has not told him that she loves him yet, but I actually feel like we're right on the cusp of this. However, what's about to happen may ruin that, and we may never hear Hope say she loves him. So this is what I'm worried about. And even if Hope decides she doesn't love him and can't love him, she's well aware of the risk. And by the way, so is Thomas. He has loved Hope for a long time. And yes, he was obsessed. And then he put many hours into therapy to work through his obsession after he had brain surgery to heal what was going on up in his head. As Ridge said, and Eric Forster said it too, they are adults. They should get to decide who they want to be with, and nobody else should be telling them what to do. And Thomas just reminded Steffy he's a whole grown person and can manage his own personal life. No one asked Steffy to bust in, and it is indeed none of her business. After asking Hope to leave, Steffy just kept picking at Thomas. Finally, she irritated her brother to the point that he very slightly raised his voice. Not a lot, just a little. And he had been almost kind of whisper quiet before that. So he was not acting erratically. He was not yelling at her, anything like that. And that was after her just henpecking him and his girlfriend nonstop for like 30 minutes. That's when Finn walks in. He puffed up. He decides he needs to defend Steffy. And by the way, this bravado of his continues on the Thursday episode with more of this Finn defending Steffy when she doesn't need defending, and he has no idea what went on before he walked into that room. He walked in after Steffy browbeat Thomas and Hope for most of the 30-minute episode, and then he jumped to the worst conclusion. What he should have said was, okay, Steffy, let's go home. Thomas's private life is his business, or asked, what's going on here with you two arguing? But instead, Finn is being a judgmental prat. And now we have this return that concerns me, given Finn's attitude on Wednesday's episode that continues on Thursday. Let's not forget also, Finn trashed talk Thomas to Hope not that long ago and said he wasn't worthy of her. And let's be real, this attitude of Finn being anti-Thomas is a new thing. The writers have done like a 70-degree shift with Finn, and it's obviously leading to something. The words coming out of Finn's mouth sounds like he is channeling little puke Liam. This was not Finn's attitude about Thomas before. The only real issue he had was when Thomas thought he was going to just keep dropping in at the house when Douglas was living with them. But aside from that, they've gotten along. Thomas has been a huge advocate of Finn and Steffy and has been very supportive of them. In the past, the very recent past, Finn has said to Steffy, yeah, I think Thomas has changed. I've noticed all the changes. And then the writers have just literally flipped the script and they think we're not going to remember all this. And they are basically writing Finn as Liam's echo chamber. So on Thursday, we have, out of the blue, Xander Avant returning, and coincidentally, or not coincidentally, because the writers are being really lazy, Finn is his doctor. It sounds random, it sounds out of nowhere, but after Finn just unloaded on Thomas when he had no right to and did not have the context to even make a judgment, I suspect we are about to get a huge anti-Thomas campaign as 2024 kicks off. Let's be real. Brad Bell will never let Thomas Forrester be happy for long. The only people that get to be happy on Bold are Brad Bell's rumored crush, Catherine Kelly Lang, who plays Brooke Logan, and of course, Rich Forrester, and their anointed son, RJ Forrester. And now I suspect Xander is back to rage against Thomas and embroil Finn into a scheme and cause problems for Finn's brother-in-law that Finn's going to be all in the middle of. That's what I think is coming. So the initial spoiler about Xander says he's not happy to find out his new doctor, Finn, has a tie to the Forresters. That's because Ridge fired Xander and Zoe Buckingham for lying about baby Beth being alive. Xander, of course, wants to blame Thomas for all that. But if you recall, Xander and Zoe sat on that secret for weeks before Thomas found out. Xander had ample opportunity to speak up. So did Zoe. But Xander didn't, because he was all into Zoe and she was covering for her horrible baby-stealing father, Reese. So I'm guessing all this time away, Xander has been nursing a grudge against Thomas, blaming him for everything that happened, even though Xander could have stopped all of this the moment he found out. He chose not to. So I bet when Xander finds out Finn is married to Steffy, the conversation's probably going to turn personal. And if Finn mentions that his brother-in-law Thomas is dating Hope, Xander is going to be stunned. And I expect Xander will tell the very worst version of this story to Finn. Tell him Thomas was threatening people's lives to keep that baby Beth secret. And I also imagine Xander will tell Finn that Thomas killed Emma. And I know a lot of you guys think that he did. The showrunner, Brad Bell, did an interview a while back saying emphatically that Thomas did not kill her and they did not write it that way. Brad Bell said she was texting while speeding, whipping around on a curvy road at night. But we all know Thomas was following her. He was blinking his lights, trying to get her to pull over. He definitely had a hand in her erratic driving. She wasn't making good choices, but he wasn't helping things, and he did not call 911 after she crashed. So Xander remains convinced that Thomas killed her. The showrunner said he didn't. Everybody has their own opinion about it. At the same time, when all this was going on, Thomas had not only a mental health issue, but he also had this brain issue that had been simmering for a while and that fell apart, got worse until he needed brain surgery after his behavior turned extreme and he collapsed. Since then, he's done the work. He's turned his life around. And I don't think Xander's going to believe any of that. And I suspect that Xander will convince Finn that Thomas is the devil incarnate and they need to get Hope away from him. So far, Hope has dug in her heels and rejected anyone criticizing her relationship with Thomas. She pushed back on her mom, Brooke Logan, her dad, Deacon Sharp. She pushed back on Liam Spencer when he brought up the baby bath stuff. So I'm very interested to see if Xander and Finn can shake her resolve to stay with Thomas. or if them targeting Thomas sends him off the deep end. They really may trigger an obsessive episode by interfering in his love life with Hope Logan. I will say, I really hope it doesn't go this way and that Hope doesn't lose faith in Thomas. And if she does, I sincerely hope this is not a big scheme to make her run back to Waffle Boy Liam again. And I'm very worried that all that is about to happen. So wait to see, but I now suspect that Xander is back to poop on Thomas and Hope's relationship, with Finn helping him do it. Of course, we'll know more when we see spoilers for the week of January 1st in detail. But I feel like showrunner Brad Bell's about to take aim at Thomas again and push him back to the dark side, even though there's a passionate fan base for Thomas and Hope who want them together. Is Brad Bell about to ruin them? I just think he doesn't want you to have nice things. That's what I think. So drop your comments below. Please click subscribe if you haven't already, and check back soon for more B&B talk. We are here with hot new bold videos 7 days a week. And as always, this is Belinda from Soap Dirt. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.